What if I told you that the one thing separating successful people from the rest is not luck, intelligence, or even skill? It's something that anyone can develop within a matter of months. In this video, I'll be discussing exactly what it is and how you can develop the trait for yourself in order to be successful. The top 1% are extremely divided in how they reach the upper echelon of their wealth. Some reached it through investing, like Warren Buffett, while others reached it through innovation, like Steve Jobs. There are hundreds of thousands of successful people that live amongst us, and while their paths are vastly different, there is one trait that unites them all. Of course, in order to be successful, you must have a mix of personality traits, but there is one that is solely responsible for every single wealthy person's success, and that trait is discipline. In this video, I'll break down exactly how discipline has been the foundation for most people's success and share with you exactly how you can utilize it for yourself. Discipline over motivation. It's a common occurrence that people ask me about my motivation. They wonder how I can be motivated all the time to reach my goals. But the truth is, I'm not. It may look like that from the outside, but motivation has absolutely nothing to do with it. Being 100% transparent, most days I don't feel like it. Most days I don't want to record and edit this YouTube video. Most days I don't want to read, yet I still do it. So why is that? Well, the answer lies somewhere in this. Many people think the key to success is motivation, but oftentimes motivation is fleeting. Some days you want to do it and other days you don't. It's a basic human reaction. However, discipline, on the other hand, is what keeps successful people moving forward, whether they feel like doing it or not. Discipline can be defined as the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. Let's dive deeper into that. The art of training. Just like every athlete trains before their big game, entrepreneurs train every single day. Training is simply doing something repetitively, practicing over and over again so that you're prepared when the time comes. If I took two people and told them to work out every single day, but I told person one to only work out for a week and person two to work out for 6 months. Because person 2 has more training, not only will he be more fit, he will also be much more likely to continue working out even after his time is up, because he has now developed a habit. He trained over and over again so much that it became a part of his identity. He doesn't require motivation anymore to work out because he's built discipline. And this is exactly what training yourself does. You're reshaping your identity so much that what you do doesn't have to rely on motivation anymore because it's a part of you. Let's quickly go back to the definition of discipline. The practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. While this may sound a bit weird, the human brain requires punishment to learn. So if you want to succeed in life, then you must either have an unwavering reason for why you're doing what you're doing, or you have to set up some sort of punishment for yourself if you don't achieve what you set yourself to do. Every time that you go against your word, you must have a punishment set up. Maybe this is having an accountability partner or something completely different. The punishment heavily depends on your personality type, because I know for me, not being able to tick off that habit on my habit tracker is enough punishment in itself. But for some people, they need a lot more extreme punishment. Now that we know exactly what discipline is, let's see how others use it to learn from them. The daily routines of the rich. 99% of wealthy and successful people have daily routines that they stick to. These routines aren't necessarily glamorous, but they reflect discipline. Of course, you won't do the exact same thing every single day because that shit will get boring very quickly. But majority of the rich people do follow some sort of structure because without it, they'd be lost. You don't have to follow everything they do, but let's look at some examples. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, wakes up every day at 4:30. This may be a bit extreme for you, but for him, he's taking advantage of the fact that while everyone else is still sleeping, he's up hitting milestones. Mark Cuban starts his day with an hour of cardio, and Warren Buffett reads 5 to 6 hours every day. If these people are already so successful, then why do they continue doing what they do? Because the answer is, it's harder for them to stop than to keep going. Discipline is a beautiful thing. Once the system is set up, it's so ingrained in your personality that what you do is automatic. You don't have to think about it at all. These examples that I gave of the successful people is what I call discipline in action, because all the theory work is irrelevant if you're not actually doing it. Another key lesson that I've personally got from their examples is that they always get a win early in the day. The importance of early wins. Early wins are by far the most important thing for the human psychology. I'm sure that you've experienced this yourself. When you start out with a win, like working out in the morning or meditating, the rest of your day is so much better. Tomorrow, I want you to aim to have 3 wins before 9 a.m. and see how it affects you. Discipline and long-term thinking. As humans, the concept of discipline is pretty hard for us to wrap our heads around because of how our brains have developed. Thousands of years ago, you wouldn't have to think of the future. It was always, where is my food now? How can I procreate now? This lion is going to eat my fucking face off now. The point I'm trying to make is that our brain chemistry has barely changed, yet society has changed so much. And the poor and middle class are still stuck in the mindset of the present moment. The poor are thinking, how can I get my next meal? And the middle class are living paycheck to paycheck. There's no real thought of the long-term future. However, rich people understand the power of delayed gratification. They don't seek immediate results or quick wins. Instead, they invest their time, energy, and resources into the long term. Let's take Warren Buffett as an example. He's been investing since the age of 14, yet 95% of his net worth was earned after age 65. While I definitely don't agree with the fact of waiting until you're super fucking old to be wealthy, I do take it as a great example of delayed gratification. Discipline is about resisting short-term temptations and focusing on the bigger long-term goals. You must teach yourself to see the final vision, because success is not achieved, it is actively developed. Every day, with every decision, you must keep your goals in the front of your mind. It's all good and well talking about other people's stories, but let's talk about you for a second. How are you going to develop discipline in your own life? Well, that's up for you to decide, but I'm going to share with you some strategies and tools that you can actually take action on. Firstly, start small. I cannot stress this enough. Discipline is not about making a few big decisions. It's about making thousands of small ones. The little things are what counts the most. Try to wake up at the same time every day. Develop a short morning routine and stick to a daily workout. And before you say you don't have enough time for these things, you do. Your screen time is most definitely above 2 hours, and all in all, these things take no longer than 2 to 3 hours a day. So if you really are serious about being successful, it only takes 2 to 3 hours every day. Secondly, track your habits. Please. I recently made a whole video about how I tracked my habits for a year and what it did for me. I'll link it somewhere here so you can watch it. But tracking your habits is such a simple yet effective exercise to build both your discipline and your accountability, because without it, I definitely wouldn't be where I am right now. Commit yourself to consistency. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about continuing. You have days that suck, and that's okay. Yet you must continue and be consistent. I believe in you. Realistically, it takes a few more traits than just discipline to be ultra successful. But if you possess this one trait, then you'll have the foundation of success, and you'll be much more likely to achieve it yourself. If you want to build wealth, reach your goals, or just create the life that you envision for yourself, then focus less on motivation and more on discipline. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I'll see you next time. Peace.